Boon Carter's hand froze on the rifle when he heard it, a sound that didn't belong to any animal he knew. Half growl, half sob, coming from the darkness beyond his porch. Then he saw her wild eyes, gleaming in the moonlight, more wolf than human blood on her hands, and something broken in her gaze that made his chest tighten. She didn't run. She didn't attack. She just stared at him, like she was trying to remember what people were. Hey there, friend. Before we dive deeper into Boon and this mysterious wild girl's story, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and stick with me till the very end. And drop a comment telling me what city you're watching from. I want to see just how far this story travels. Now let's get back to that first morning when everything changed. Boon Carter hadn't spoken to another human being in 47 days, and that suited him just fine. The ranch sat 30 miles from the nearest town, surrounded by red dirt and creosote that smelled like rain even when the sky stayed blue for weeks. The realtor had called it rustic. That was a damn lie. The house was falling apart, roof leaked, floorboards sagged, and something had died in the walls based on the smell. The barn leaned so far south, Boon figured the next good wind would knock it flat. But it was his. Nobody asking questions. Nobody looking at him with that mix of pity and judgment he'd gotten used to back in Phoenix. He'd left with a duffel bag, $8,000 in cash, and a bottle of pills he'd thrown out the truck window somewhere near Tucson. The ranch cost $6,000. The rest would last maybe 6 months if he was careful. 6 months to figure out what the hell he was supposed to do with the rest of his life. That first morning, Boon woke at 5 like always. His body hadn't forgotten the rhythm, even if everything else had changed. He made coffee on the camp stove. Electricity still didn't work, and carried his mug onto the porch. The sun hadn't cracked the horizon yet. Everything was purple and gray and quiet. That's when he saw them. Footprints in the dust. Barefoot. Small. Leading straight from the juniper forest to his porch steps, then back again. Boon set down his coffee. His heart kicked up a notch. The tracks were fresh. No wind had touched them. Whoever made them had been here while he slept maybe an hour ago. He followed them with his eyes across the yard, past the collapsed fence into the darkness where the trees pressed close. "Hey!" His voice cracked. "Somebody out there?" Nothing. Just wind moving through branches and a hawk crying somewhere distant. Boon told himself it was kids from town, or a hiker who got lost. But the nearest trail was 15 miles north, and kids didn't walk barefoot through cactus and rock. He went inside and grabbed the Winchester he'd bought at a pawn shop. Checked the chamber. 3 rounds. He hadn't bothered buying more because he didn't plan on shooting anything. He walked to the tree line. The tracks disappeared into shadow. Boon stood there feeling foolish. What was he going to do, shoot some lost hiker? He turned to head back. That's when the feeling hit him. The weight of being watched, like a hand pressed between his shoulder blades. Boon spun around. "I know you're there. Come on out. I'm not looking for trouble." Silence. Then movement. High up in the branches. Something pale against dark wood. Boon raised the rifle. Not aiming, just ready. "I said come out." The shape moved lower, closer. And then she stepped into a shaft of early light. Boon's breath stopped. She was maybe 18, thin as a willow switch, wearing something that looked like animal hides stitched together with gut string. Her hair hung wild past her waist, full of twigs and burrs. Dirt smudged her face. Scars marked her arms, thin white lines, old and healed. But her eyes, Jesus Christ, her eyes. Amber. Bright. Alert. Looking at him the way a coyote looks at you across a canyon, aware, calculating, not quite afraid. "Holy hell," Boon whispered. "What happened to you?" She didn't answer, didn't blink, just watched him. Boon lowered the rifle. "You hurt. You need help." Nothing. He took a step forward. She took a step back. Okay, I get it." Boon raised his free hand. "I'm not gonna hurt you. You hungry? I got food, real food. Her head tilted, like a dog hearing a new sound. Food, Boone said again. He mimed eating. You understand? Something flickered in those amber eyes. Recognition, maybe. Stay right there, Boone said. Don't run. I'll be back in 1 minute. He backed away slowly, keeping his eyes on her. When he reached the porch, he set down the rifle and ducked inside. Found the beef jerky he'd bought in town and a canteen of water. When he came back out, she was gone. Damn it! Boone walked to where she'd been standing. The ground was hard-packed and rocky. No tracks. How the hell did she move without leaving tracks? He left the jerky and canteen at the base of the tree. If you're still watching, he called to the forest, it's yours, no strings. The trees gave him nothing back. That night, Boone sat on the porch drinking whiskey and thinking about his daughter. Sarah. She'd be 22 now if she'd lived. Blonde hair like her mother, stubborn as a mule, smart as hell. She'd been scared of everything when she was little. Thunderstorms, dogs, the dark. Boone used to sit with her until she fell asleep telling her stories about brave girls who faced down monsters. Then one night, when she was 16, she'd taken his car keys and wrapped the sedan around a telephone pole on Interstate 10. The doctors said she didn't suffer. That was supposed to make it better. His wife left 6 months later. Couldn't look at him without seeing Sarah. Couldn't stay in the house. Couldn't do anything but leave. Boone didn't blame her. He'd started drinking, lost his job, lost the house. Woke up one morning in a motel room with no memory of how he got there and decided either he changed everything or he ate a bullet. So here he was, middle of nowhere, starting over, and now some wild girl was prowling around his property like a ghost. Boone took another drink. The whiskey burned going down. He stared at the tree line. Something moved out there, just a shadow. But he felt those eyes on him again. I had a daughter, he said to the darkness. She was scared of everything, but she was brave when it mattered. He paused. I don't know who you are or what happened to you, but if you need help, I'm here. That's all I'm saying. The shadow didn't move. Boone finished the whiskey and went inside. The next morning, the jerky was gone. So was the canteen. Boone left more food that night. Bread, cheese, an apple. By morning, gone. On the third day, he saw her again. He'd been working on the fence trying to get at least one section standing straight when movement caught his eye. She stood at the tree line, closer than before, watching him work. Boone straightened slowly. Didn't make any sudden moves. Hey there. She didn't run. You like the food? No answer. But she was listening. He could tell. Boone set down his tools, pulled a granola bar from his pocket, held it up. You want this? Her eyes followed the bar. Come get it, Boone said. I'm not gonna hurt you. She didn't move. Boone sighed, set the bar on a fence post, backed away 10 feet. Your call. He turned back to his work, pretended she wasn't there. He heard her move barely a sound, just the whisper of skin on wood. When he glanced back, the granola bar was gone, and she stood 15 feet away, eating fast, watching him the whole time. Good, Boone asked. She swallowed, licked her fingers. Then in a voice rough from disuse, she said, Yes. Boone's heart jumped. You can talk. She nodded. What's your name? She frowned, like she was trying to remember something from a long time ago. Her lips moved silently, testing sounds. Finally, Willa. Willa. Boone nodded. I'm Boone. Boone, she repeated. Perfect pronunciation. Then, why you here? Bought the ranch. Needed somewhere quiet. Why? Long story. Tell. Boone laughed despite himself. You don't waste words, do you? She tilted her head, waiting. I had a family, Boone said quietly. Lost them. Needed to start over. That's all. Willa studied him with those unsettling amber eyes. You are sad. Yeah, I guess I am. Sad is hard. You said it. She took a step closer, then another, like a wild animal deciding whether to trust a human for the first time. She stopped 5 feet away, close enough that Boone could see the scars more clearly. Claw marks, teeth marks, some old, some newer. What happened to you? Boone asked gently. I don't remember. Some things, not all. How long have you been out here? She shook her head. Long time. Maybe 10 years, more. Jesus Christ. What about your family? Your parents? Something dark crossed her face. Gone. Dead. Fire. I was small. Boone's chest tightened. I'm sorry. The wolves found me, Willa said simply. They kept me, fed me, taught me. The wolves. My family now. She said it with absolute certainty. Boone didn't know what to say to that. He'd heard stories about feral children, never thought they were real, never thought he'd meet one on his own damn porch. Well, he said finally, you're welcome here, anytime. Food, water, whatever you need. Willa's eyes narrowed slightly. Why? Because you shouldn't have to live like this. You're a person, not an animal. I am both. Maybe, but the person part still needs help. She studied him for a long moment. Then she did something that shocked him. She smiled, small and uncertain, like she'd forgotten how. You are good, she said softly. Like my wolves. They are good too. Before Boone could respond, she turned and ran, not toward the forest, toward something deeper in the trees. And as she ran, she threw her head back and howled. The sound raised every hair on Boone's arms. And from the forest, dozens of voices answered. That afternoon, 3 riders appeared at the edge of his property. Boone had been expecting company ever since the howling. He stood on his porch with the Winchester across his chest, waiting. The man in front was older, maybe 60, with a face like weathered saddle leather and eyes the color of dirty ice. He wore a sheriff's badge on his vest, but it looked homemade. The 2 men behind him carried rifles. Both watched Boone like they were sizing up a threat. You the new owner? The older man called. What's it to you? Name's Sterling Maddox. I run things out this way. He walked his horse closer. Wanted to give you a friendly warning about the situation we got. Situation? The wolf girl. Sterling said it flat, matter of fact. She's been seen around these parts for near about 10 years, kills livestock, scares horses. Some folks think she's just crazy. I think she's dangerous. Boone kept his face blank. Haven't seen any girl. Sterling's eyes drifted to the fence post where Boone had left the granola bar, to the food wrappers on the porch, to the footprints in the dust that definitely weren't his. No, Sterling smiled without warmth. Funny, evidence says different. The 2 men behind him shifted, fingers near triggers. If I see anyone, Boone said carefully, I'll let the proper authorities know. I am the proper authority, Sterling snapped. Sheriff's department doesn't come out this far, so when we got problems, we solve them ourselves. He leaned forward in his saddle. That girl killed 3 sheep last month, tore up a cow last week, nearly took down Jim Brenner's prize stallion 2 days ago. Owner wants her dealt with. Dealt with. Put down. Like the animal she is. Boone's jaw tightened. She's just a kid. She's a predator, Sterling said coldly. And if you're smart, you'll stay out of our way when we come for her. And if I'm not smart, Sterling's smile widened, then I reckon you'll find out what happens to people who protect wolves in cattle country. One of the men behind him, younger, maybe 30, with a scar bisecting his left eyebrow, spoke up. "We don't want trouble, mister. But that thing ain't human anymore. She's been living with animals so long she forgot what she was." "Her name is Willa," Boone said quietly. Sterling's eyes sharpened. "So you have seen her?" "Didn't say that." "You just did." Sterling straightened in his saddle. "Here's how this is going to play out. We're coming back tomorrow. We're going to track that girl into the woods and finish this. You can either help us stay out of the way, or—" He let the threat hang. "Or what?" "Or you'll be just as much a problem as she is." Sterling turned his horse. "Think about it. Think real hard." The three men rode off. Boone stood on the porch long after they'd disappeared, his heart hammering the rifle heavy in his hands. He'd come out here for peace, for silence, for a chance to put his life back together. Now he had a choice to make. That night, Boone didn't wait for Willa to come to him. He walked into the forest. It was stupid, dangerous. He didn't know these woods, didn't know what was out there. But he had to find her, had to warn her. The moon was nearly full. Silver light filtered through the juniper branches, turning everything ghostly. Boone moved slowly, rifle in hand, boots crunching on fallen needles. "Willa!" he called. "I need to talk to you." Silence. Then a sound behind him. Boone spun. Two wolves stood 10 feet away. Big, gray, eyes reflecting moonlight like mirrors. Boone's finger found the trigger. "Easy. Easy." The wolves didn't attack, didn't even growl, just watched him. "I'm looking for Willa," Boone said, feeling ridiculous talking to animals. "Those men are coming back. She's in danger." The wolves turned as one and walked deeper into the forest. Boone followed. They led him through trees and over rocks, moving silent as shadows. Boone struggled to keep up. His breath came hard. His heart pounded. This was insane. He was following wolves through the desert like some kind of— He broke into a clearing and stopped. 20 wolves surrounded him, maybe more, all sitting, all watching. And in the center, Willa. She sat cross-legged on a flat rock, her hand resting on the head of a massive silver wolf. When she saw Boone, she stood. "You shouldn't be here," she said. "Those men are coming back tomorrow. They're going to hunt you." "I know." "You know? Then why are you still here? This is my home." "They'll kill you, Willa." "They will try." She said it without fear. "They have tried before." Boone looked at the wolves surrounding her. "These are your family." "Yes." "The ones who found you when you were a kid." "She found me?" Willa gestured to the silver wolf. "Ash." She was young then. Her pack had just lost cubs to hunters. She heard me crying in the burned house. She came. She stayed. Her pack came. They took me. The silver wolf, Ash, watched Boone with intelligent eyes. "They raised you," Boone said quietly. "They saved me, fed me, protected me, taught me to hunt, to survive. They are more family than humans ever were." "But you're still human, Willa. You deserve—" "I deserve nothing," she interrupted. "I am alive. That is enough." "It's not enough." Boone stepped closer. The wolves tensed but didn't move. "You deserve a real life, a home, people who care about you." "The wolves care." "I know. But—" Boone struggled for words. "There's a whole world out there, things you've never seen, experiences you've never had. You're young. You could have a future. I have a future here. Not if Sterling Maddox kills you." Willa's expression hardened. "Then I die with my family, like I should have died in that fire." "Don't say that." "Why do you care?" She moved closer, angry now. "You don't know me. I am nothing to you." "You're not nothing." The words came out harder than Boone intended. "I had a daughter. She died. I couldn't save her, but maybe I can save you." Willa stared at him. "I don't need saving." Everyone needs saving sometime. Not me. I am wolf and human. I am both. I am neither. I am... She stopped. Something in her eyes shifted. You are trying to fix what broke in you, but I am not broken. I am what I am meant to be. The words hit Boon like a punch, because she was right. He was trying to fix something, trying to save someone, trying to make up for failing Sarah. Maybe, he admitted. But that doesn't change the fact that those men are coming, and they're coming with guns. Willa turned to Ash. The wolf stood. The entire pack stood with her. Let them come, Willa said quietly. We will be ready. You can't fight guns with teeth. We'll see. Willa. Go home, Boon. This is not your fight. Like hell it's not. Boon moved forward until he stood right in front of her. I'm not leaving you to face this alone. I'm not alone. I have them. And now you have me too, whether you like it or not. For a long moment, Willa just stared at him. Then something in her face softened. You are very stubborn. Yeah, I get that a lot. She almost smiled. Okay, you can stay, but you do what I say. You follow my rules. Deal. And Boon? Yeah. Thank you. She said it quietly, like she wasn't used to saying it. For caring, even when you don't have to. Before Boon could respond, a howl split the night. Distant, then another, closer. Ash's head snapped up. She growled low in her chest. Willa's eyes went wide. They're here. Now. They came tonight. Sterling? Yes, 3 men, guns, coming from the west. How do you know? The pack tells me. She turned to the wolves. Made a series of sounds, half growl, half whistle. The wolves scattered into the darkness. All except Ash, who stayed at Willa's side. What are you doing? Boon demanded. Protecting my family. Willa looked at him. Go back to your house. Lock the doors. Don't come out until morning. I'm not leaving you. Boon, I said I'm not leaving. Willa grabbed his arm. Her grip was strong, desperate. If you stay, you will have to shoot someone. Can you do that? Can you kill? Boon thought about Sarah, about his wife, about all the ways his life had fallen apart, about the man he used to be and the man he'd become. If it means protecting you, he said quietly. Yeah, I can. Willa held his gaze for another heartbeat. Then she nodded. Stay close. Stay quiet. Let the wolves do the work. Only shoot if you have to. They moved through the forest like ghosts. Ash led the way, her silver coat catching moonlight. Willa moved beside her, barefoot, silent. Boon followed, trying to keep up, the Winchester clutched tight. He heard them before he saw them. Voices. Men cursing as they pushed through undergrowth. The clink of metal. The creak of leather. Tracks went this way. Damn wolves everywhere. Just find the girl and finish this. Willa crouched behind a boulder. Boon dropped beside her. From their hiding spot, he could see 3 figures moving through the trees. Sterling in the lead. The scarred man beside him. A third man, Boon didn't recognize, younger, nervous. Sterling carried a rifle. So did the other 2. Spread out, Sterling ordered. She's close. I can smell her. The men separated, moving in different directions. Willa turned to Ash and made that strange sound again, barely audible, somewhere between a whine and a growl. Ash disappeared into the darkness. What did you tell her? Boon whispered. To be smart, to be careful. Willa's jaw was tight. These men have killed wolves before. They know how to hunt us. A scream split the night. The young man. He'd wandered too far from the others. Now he stood frozen, surrounded by wolves. 5 of them, circling, teeth bared, growling. Don't shoot, Sterling shouted. You'll hit the wolves and they'll attack. Get them off me. Get them off." The wolves didn't attack, just circled, closer, tighter, driving the man backward, away from Willa and Boone, away from the others. Sterling cursed. "Lenny, go help him." The scarred man Lenny moved toward his companion. More wolves appeared, cut him off, drove him in a different direction. Sterling stood alone now, turning in circles, rifle raised. "Clever bastards," he muttered. "You're separating us." Willa smiled in the darkness. "Yes." She stood, stepped into the moonlight. Sterling's rifle swung toward her. "There you are." "Here I am," Willa said calmly. "Don't move." "Why will you shoot me?" "If I have to." "You came to my home, with guns, with hate, and you wonder why the wolves protect me. Those animals don't protect you. You control them, like some kind of witch." Willa laughed, actually laughed. "You think I control them, I am them. We are one pack, one family. And you," her voice went cold, "you are the predator here, not me." Sterling's finger moved to the trigger. "Last chance. Come with me quiet, or—" Ash hit him from behind. The wolf was silent. Fast. Perfect. She knocked Sterling forward. His rifle flew from his hands. He hit the ground hard, rolled, scrambled for the gun. Boone stepped out of hiding, aimed the Winchester at Sterling's head. "Don't." Sterling froze, his hand inches from the rifle. "You're making a mistake." "Maybe, but it's my mistake to make. You don't understand what she is, what she's capable of. I know exactly what she is. A kid who survived when she shouldn't have, who found family when she had none, who's fighting to protect what's hers. She's an animal." "No." Boone's voice was steady. "You're the animal. Coming out here to kill a girl because she doesn't fit in your world. Because she's different. Because you're afraid of what you don't understand." Sterling's eyes burned with hate. "This isn't over." "Yeah, it is." Willa appeared at Boone's side. Ash stood beside her. More wolves emerged from the trees. Surrounded Sterling. 20 pairs of eyes. 40. Maybe more. "Leave," Willa said quietly. "Take your men. Go back to your town. And don't come here again." "Or what?" "Or next time I let the wolves finish what they started." Sterling looked at the animals surrounding him. At Boone's rifle. At Willa's cold, certain gaze. He stood slowly. "This is my land, too." "No," Willa said. "This is pack land, wolf land, and you are trespassing." Sterling backed away. Step by step. The wolves parted for him. Let him go. He found his rifle, picked it up, started walking. "Lenny Davis," he shouted. "We're leaving." From different directions the other two men appeared, both pale, both shaking, both surrounded by wolves who escorted them back to Sterling. The three men walked out of the forest, fast, looking over their shoulders. The wolves followed at a distance, making sure they left. When they were gone, Willa turned to Boone. "You pointed a gun at a man for me." "Yeah." "You would have shot him." "If I had to." "Yeah." She stepped closer, looked up at him with those amber eyes. "Why?" Boone thought about it. About Sarah. About all the things he'd failed to do. All the chances he'd missed. "Because somebody has to stand up for the people who can't stand up for themselves," he said quietly. "Because you deserve to live free. Because—" He stopped. "Because you matter. Simple as that." Willa's eyes glistened. She reached out slowly, like she was remembering how to touch another person, and put her hand on his arm. "You are good, Boon Carter," she whispered. "You are very good." Then she did something that nearly broke him. She leaned forward and rested her forehead against his chest. Just for a moment. Just long enough for him to feel how young she was, how alone, how much she'd been carrying. When she pulled back, she was smiling, real and warm. "Come," she said. "I will show you my real home, the den, where I sleep, where I belong." "You sure?" "Yes. You are Pack now. Pack sees everything." She took his hand, her skin rough and scarred, and led him deeper into the forest. Ash followed. The other wolves appeared from the shadows, surrounded them, protected them. And for the first time since Sarah died, Boone felt like he belonged somewhere. Like maybe, just maybe, he'd found a reason to keep living. They walked for 20 minutes, deeper into the forest, away from roads, away from houses, away from everything human. The den was a cave carved into red rock, hidden behind fallen boulders and scrub brush. Inside it was surprisingly warm, dry. Old blankets and furs lined the floor. A small fire pit sat in the center rocks, arranged in a perfect circle. "You built this?" Boone asked. "The wolves found it. I made it home." Willa sat on a fur, gestured for Boone to sit. "This is where I come when winter is hard, when I need shelter." Ash curled up beside her. Other wolves filed in, settled around the fire pit, watching, listening. Boone sat carefully. "How many wolves in your pack?" 43. Maybe more now. 2 litters born this spring." "Jesus, that's a lot." "It's a good pack, strong, smart." She looked at Ash. "She is Alpha, the leader, but she lets me lead too. We share." "How does that work?" Willa smiled. "I think like wolf. She thinks like wolf. We understand each other. When I howl, they hear me. When they howl, I hear them. We are—" She searched for the word. "Connected. Like family should be." Boone nodded. "Your parents. The fire. You remember any of it?" Her smile faded. "Some. Not much. I was 6. Maybe 7. We lived in a cabin. Small. My father worked in town. My mother stayed home. One night—" She stopped, swallowed hard. "One night there was smoke, fire everywhere. My father pushed me out a window, told me to run. I ran. I looked back and—" Her voice broke. "The cabin was gone. Just flames. I called for them. Called and called. Nobody answered." "I'm sorry," Boone said quietly. "I hid in the rocks. Cold. Scared. I was there 2 days, maybe 3. Then Ash found me. She was young. Not Alpha yet. Her mother was Alpha. They had lost cubs to hunters that winter. When Ash found me—" Willa's eyes glistened. "She brought me food, stayed with me, kept me warm. The pack came. They decided to keep me. So they did. They taught you to survive. More than that, they taught me to live, to hunt, to run, to howl, to be part of something bigger than myself." She looked at him. "You understand this. I can see it." "What can you see?" "You lost someone. Someone you loved. Someone who made you whole. And now you have a hole inside you. A big hole. And you don't know how to fill it." Boone's throat tightened. "Her name was Sarah, my daughter. She died in a car accident 3 years ago. She was 16. You miss her? Every damn day. She was like me, wild, free." Boone laughed despite the tears in his eyes. "No. She was scared of everything. Afraid of the dark. Afraid of storms. Afraid of—" He stopped. "But she was brave too. When it mattered. She stood up for kids who got bullied. She helped animals. She was—" His voice cracked. "She was good. Like you." Willa reached out. put her hand on his. She would be proud of you. For helping me. For being brave when you are scared. I'm not brave. Yes, you are. You pointed a gun at a man. You walked into a forest full of wolves. You chose to care when caring is hard. She squeezed his hand. That is the bravest thing. They sat in silence for a long time. The fire pit cold, the wolves breathing slow and steady around them. Outside, the moon moved across the sky. Finally, Willa spoke. What happens now? Sterling will come back. With more men, more guns. I know. You should leave. Go back to town. Be safe. I'm not leaving. Why? This is not your fight. Yes, it is. Boon looked at her. You said I'm pack now. That means I don't run when things get hard. Willa smiled. Okay. Then we fight together. You and me. Human and wolf. Human and wolf. Boon agreed. Ash lifted her head, made a soft sound almost like agreement. Willa laughed. She says you are acceptable. For a human. Tell her thanks. Tell her yourself. Willa gestured to the wolf. Go on, she won't bite. Unless you deserve it. Boon reached out slowly. Ash watched him with those intelligent eyes. He touched her head, ran his fingers through her silver fur. She leaned into his hand. She likes you, Willa said. That is good. It means you can stay. Stay where? Here, with us, with the pack. She looked at him seriously. You don't have to be alone anymore, Boon Carter. You can have family again, if you want it. Boon's eyes stung. He hadn't cried in 3 years, not since Sarah's funeral. But now, sitting in a cave surrounded by wolves with a wild girl who'd somehow seen straight through him, yeah, he whispered. I want that. Willa smiled, bright and real and beautiful. Good. Then we start tomorrow. I teach you to be wolf. You teach me to be more human. We learn together. Deal. She stood, stretched. Now sleep. It's late. And tomorrow Sterling will come back. We need to be ready. You think he'll come so soon? I know he will. Men like him don't stop. They push until something pushes back harder. Her eyes went hard. So we will push back. And we will win. Boon lay down on a fur. It smelled like smoke and earth and wild things. Ash curled up beside him, warm, protective. Other wolves settled close. Willa lay on the other side of the fire pit, closed her eyes. Within minutes, her breathing slowed, peaceful. Boon stared at the cave ceiling and thought about everything that had happened in the past 48 hours. He'd come here looking for silence, for peace, for a place to disappear. Instead, he'd found a girl who was more wolf than human, a pack that had adopted him without question, and a fight that would probably get him killed. But for the first time since Sarah died, Boon felt alive, really truly alive, and that was worth fighting for. He closed his eyes and let sleep take him. Outside, the wolves howled to the moon, and somewhere in the darkness, Sterling Maddox sharpened his knives and planned his revenge. Boon woke to the sound of growling, not the playful kind, not the warning kind, the serious kind that meant something was wrong. He sat up fast. His hand went to the Winchester beside him. Dawn light filtered through the cave entrance, gray and cold. Ash stood at the opening hackles, raised teeth bared. The other wolves crowded behind her, tense and ready. Willa was already awake. She crouched near the entrance, peering out, her body coiled tight as a spring. What is it? Boon whispered. Men. 4 of them. Coming up the ridge. Sterling. Yes, and others. Her voice was flat. They brought more guns this time. And dogs. Dogs. Hunting dogs. To track my scent. She turned to look at him. They're not playing anymore, Boon. This time they mean to kill. Boon checked the Winchester. Still 3 rounds. He should have bought more ammunition. Too late now. How long do we have? 20 minutes, maybe less. Willa stood, made that strange sound to the wolves. They scattered, some deeper into the cave, some out through gaps in the rocks Boone hadn't noticed before. Only Ash remained. We can't stay here. They'll trap us inside. Where do we go? The canyon. North side. Narrow paths. Hard to follow. The wolves know it well. She grabbed his arm. But Boone, if we run, they will chase us. Could be days before we lose them. And if they catch us in the open? We fight, Boone finished. Yes. Then let's not make it easy for them. Willa's eyes gleamed with something fierce and wild. Good. Come. They slipped out of the cave through a crack in the back wall, barely wide enough for Boone's shoulders. He scraped skin getting through but didn't care. Behind them he could hear dogs barking. Closer now. The sound echoed off the rocks. The canyon stretched before them, red walls rising 100 feet on either side, the floor littered with boulders and scrub brush. Willa moved like water through it. Boone struggled to keep up. His boots slipped on loose stone. His breath came hard. Ash ranged ahead, checking paths, doubling back to guide them. Other wolves appeared from nowhere, ran alongside them, disappeared again, like ghosts. They're spreading out, Willa called over her shoulder. Trying to flank us. The dogs have our scent. Can we lose them? Not with dogs. They'll follow until we drop or fight. Then we fight. Not yet. Not here. Too open. She veered left, scrambling up a slope of loose shale. Boone followed. Rocks skittered under his feet. He grabbed a juniper branch to steady himself. The branch snapped. He slid backward, caught himself, kept climbing. They reached the top, a narrow ledge running along the canyon wall, 20 feet below the canyon floor. One wrong step and don't look down, Willa said. Just follow me. She moved along the ledge like it was a sidewalk. Boone pressed his back against the rock wall and inched forward. His heart hammered. Heights had never bothered him before, but this was different. This was survival. Behind them, the dogs' barking got louder, then voices, men shouting to each other. I got tracks. Fresh ones. This way. Careful, could be an ambush. Willa stopped, pointed down. There. Boone looked. 4 men on the canyon floor, Sterling in front, rifle ready. Lenny beside him. 2 others Boone didn't recognize. One held the leashes of 3 bloodhounds. The dogs pulled hard noses to the ground, leading them straight toward the ledge. They'll see us, Boone whispered. Not if we move now. Willa dropped to her belly and started crawling along the ledge. Boone followed. The stone scraped his chest. His hands. He didn't care. Below, the men kept coming. They reached the end of the ledge. It ended at a gap maybe 6 feet across, leading to another ledge on the opposite wall. You're kidding, Boone said. Jump or die. Choose. Willa didn't wait for an answer. She backed up 3 steps and ran, launched herself across the gap, landed smooth, turned. Come on. Boone looked at the gap, at the rocks 20 feet below, at Willa's outstretched hand. I'm 52 years old, he muttered. Too old for this shit. He backed up, ran, jumped. For one terrible second he was airborne. Nothing under him but space and gravity and bad decisions. His arms windmilled. His stomach dropped. Then Willa's hand shot out and grabbed his wrist, pulled hard. He crashed onto the opposite ledge, momentum carrying them both backward into the rock wall. Told you, Willa gasped. Jump or die. Next time warn me about the jumping part. Next time don't buy a ranch next to wolf territory. Despite everything, Boone almost laughed. Below them the dogs went crazy, barking, howling, straining at their leashes. The man holding them struggled to keep his footing. They're close, Sterling shouted. Spread out. Watch the high ground. One of the other men, younger, nervous, looked up. His eyes went wide. There on the ledge. Sterling's rifle swung up. Got you now, girl. The shot cracked like thunder in the narrow canyon. Rock exploded inches from Boone's head. He ducked, felt stone fragments sting his cheek. Run! Willa grabbed his hand and pulled him along the ledge. More shots followed. Bullets whined off rock, ricocheted. The sound was deafening. Ash appeared from nowhere. She stood on the ledge between them and the shooters, snarling, daring them to shoot her. No! Willa screamed. Ash, move! The wolf didn't move, just stood there, protecting them. Sterling aimed at the wolf. Mangy bitch! Boone didn't think. Just raised the Winchester and fired. The shot went wide. He was moving too fast. Angle was wrong, but it made Sterling duck, gave them seconds. Ash! Come! Willa's voice cracked with desperation. The wolf turned and ran, caught up to them in 3 bounds. They reached the end of the second ledge. It curved around the canyon wall, leading into a side passage, narrow, dark, hidden from below. They ducked inside, pressed against the cold stone, breathing hard. Behind them, men shouted, dogs barked, boots scraped on rock as the hunters tried to find a way up. How many bullets you got left? Willa whispered. 2. Not enough. I know. Can you hit anything with them? Maybe, if I'm not running for my life. Then we stop running. We make them come to us, on our terms. She looked at Ash. The wolf's silver coat was matted with dust. A thin line of blood ran down her shoulder where a bullet had grazed her. They hurt her. They hurt my family. Willa, no more running, Boone. We end this, now. Her eyes blazed with something that was more wolf than human. You with me? Boone thought about Sterling's cold eyes, about men who hunted girls like animals, about all the times in his life he'd walked away when he should have stood his ground. Yeah, he said. I'm with you. Willa smiled, sharp and dangerous. Good. Then listen carefully. Here's what we're going to do. She laid it out fast and quiet. It was risky. Probably stupid. Definitely going to get them killed if it went wrong. But it was a plan. You understand? Willa asked. I understand. Then we move. Ash? She made a series of sounds. The wolf's ears pricked forward. She growled acknowledgement and disappeared back the way they'd come. What did you tell her? To trust me, to do her part, to survive no matter what. Willa's jaw tightened. If this goes wrong, if I die, she'll take care of you. Lead you out of here. You'll be pack. She'll protect you. Nobody's dying today. You can't promise that. Watch me. They moved deeper into the side passage. It opened into a small box canyon, maybe 30 feet across, walls on 3 sides, only one way in or out. Perfect ambush spot, if you were the one doing the ambushing. You sure about this? Boone asked. No, but I'm sure about doing nothing. Willa positioned herself behind a boulder on the left side. You take the right. Wait for my signal. When they come through, we hit them hard and fast. Confuse them. Make them afraid. And if they don't get afraid, then we're dead anyway. At least we'll die fighting. Boone moved to the right side, found cover behind a fallen slab of red rock. Checked the Winchester again. 2 bullets. Had to make them count. They waited. Minutes crawled by. Boone's heart pounded so hard he was sure the hunters would hear it. Sweat ran down his back despite the cold. His hands shook. He forced them steady. Then he heard it. Boots on stone. Careful. Slow. The hunters were coming. You sure they went this way? That was Lenny's voice. Dogs don't lie. Sterling. Cold and certain. They're trapped in that box canyon up ahead. Nowhere to run. Could be an ambush. So what? It's 4 armed men against 1 crazy girl and an old drunk. We got this. Boone's jaw tightened. Old drunk. That's what they thought of him. Maybe they were right. The footsteps got closer. Boone pressed against the rock, held his breath. Across the canyon he could just see Willa. She met his eyes, nodded once. The first man came through the narrow entrance. Young, nervous. The one who'd held the dogs. He didn't have the dogs now. Must have tied them up below. His rifle swept the canyon. Finger on the trigger. Then Sterling. Then Lenny. Then the fourth man, older, heavy-set, moving slow. 4 men. 2 bullets. And 1 wild girl with more courage than sense. Willa howled. The sound exploded in the enclosed space. Loud. Primal. Perfect. The men jumped. Spun. Looked for the source. That's when the wolves came. They poured through gaps in the rocks that Boone hadn't even noticed. 6 of them. 8. 10. Snarling. Snapping. Not attacking. Just circling. Closing in. Jesus Christ! The young man fired. Wild. Panicked. The bullet went nowhere. The wolves dodged easy. "Hold your fire," Sterling shouted. "Don't waste ammunition." But it was too late. The other men were firing too. Shots echoed off the canyon walls. Deafening. The wolves moved like liquid, fast, unpredictable. The bullets kicked up dust but hit nothing. Willa howled again, longer this time, and from beyond the canyon, dozens of voices answered. "There's too many." Lenny's voice cracked. "We need to get out of here." "Stand your ground," Sterling roared. "They're just animals." "They're not just animals." The young man backed toward the entrance. "They're coordinated. They're hunting us." One wolf, sleek and black, darted in, grabbed the young man's rifle, yanked hard. The man held on. The wolf pulled. They struggled. Then 2 more wolves hit him from the side. Not biting, just hitting. Bowling him over. He went down hard, lost the rifle, scrambled backward on his hands and knees. "Tommy." Lenny moved to help him. That's when Boone stood up. "Drop the weapons now." All 4 men spun toward him. Sterling's rifle came up fast. "You, me." Boone's Winchester was aimed square at Sterling's chest. "Drop them, all of you, or I drop you." "You won't shoot." Sterling's finger tightened on the trigger. "You're not a killer. Try me." For 3 seconds, they stood frozen. Mexican standoff. Then Sterling smiled. "You got what, 1 bullet? Maybe 2. There's 4 of us. Math doesn't work in your favor." "Doesn't have to." Boone's voice was steady despite his racing heart. "I only need 1 bullet for you. The wolves will handle the rest." As if on cue, more wolves appeared. Filled the canyon. 20, 30. Too many to count. They didn't make a sound. Just watched with gleaming eyes. Waiting. The heavy-set man dropped his rifle. "I'm out. This ain't worth dying for." "Pick it up," Sterling snapped. "No, sir. I got kids. I ain't dying for your vendetta." He raised his hands. "I'm leaving. Anybody got a problem with that?" The wolves parted. Let him walk toward the entrance. He moved slow, careful, didn't run. When he reached the opening, he looked back. "Rest of you coming?" Tommy scrambled to his feet, followed him. Didn't even try to get his rifle back. That left Sterling and Lenny. "This is your last chance," Boone said. "Walk away. Nobody else has to get hurt." "You protecting her makes you just as guilty," Sterling said. "When we come back, and we will come back, you're going down too. Then you better bring more men, because this pack just got bigger." Lenny lowered his rifle. "Sterling, man, this is done. They beat us. Let's go." "They didn't beat us." Sterling's face was red. Veins stood out on his neck. "That thing killed livestock. She's a menace. She needs to be put down." "Did she?" Boone asked quietly. "What? Did she kill the livestock? You got proof? Or you just assuming because it's easier to blame a wild girl than admit you got coyotes or mountain lions or any other predator that actually kills for food?" Sterling's eyes flickered. just for a second. But Boone saw it. "You don't know," Boone said. "You never knew. You just needed someone to blame, something to hate, because that's easier than admitting you can't control everything in these mountains. You don't know what you're talking about. I know you came here to murder a kid. That's all I need to know. She's not a kid. She's an animal." "No." Willa stepped out from behind the boulder. Blood ran down her arm where she'd scraped it on the rocks. Her hair was wild. Her eyes blazed. "I'm both, and that makes me more than you'll ever be." Sterling swung his rifle toward her. "You little—" Boone fired. The shot took Sterling in the shoulder, spun him around. He dropped the rifle, fell to his knees, screamed. The wolves surged forward, surrounded him, teeth bared. One snap and he'd be dead. "No!" Willa shouted. The wolves froze. "Let him live. Let him crawl back to town. Let him tell everyone what happens when you hunt the pack." Sterling clutched his bleeding shoulder, looked up at her with hate and fear mixed together. "You're dead. You hear me, dead." "No. I'm alive. And I'm staying alive. This is my home. These are my people." She gestured to the wolves. "To Boone. And if you ever come back here, I won't stop them next time." Lenny grabbed Sterling, hauled him to his feet. "We're leaving. Right now." They stumbled toward the entrance. The wolves watched them go. When they disappeared down the canyon, Ash howled, long and victorious. The whole pack joined in. The sound rolled across the desert like thunder. Boone lowered the rifle. His hands were shaking now, adrenaline crash hitting hard. "I shot him. Jesus Christ, I shot him. You saved us." Willa was beside him, her hand on his arm, steady, strong. "You saved all of us. I could have killed him. But you didn't. You chose not to. That's important." She looked at him with those amber eyes. "You're a good man, Boon Carter. A very good man." Boone's legs gave out. He sat hard on the ground. The rifle fell from his hands. "I'm a coward who ran away from his life, who let his daughter die, who couldn't save his marriage, who bought a ranch in the middle of nowhere because he was too scared to face the world. You're a man who stood between wolves and guns because it was right." Willa sat beside him. "You're a man who chose to help when helping was dangerous. You're a man who—" She stopped, smiled. "Your pack. And pack takes care of each other." Around them, wolves settled on the ground, relaxed. The fight was over. For now. Ash limped over. The graze on her shoulder was shallow, but still bleeding. Willa examined it carefully, made soft sounds. The wolf nuzzled her hand. "She says thank you," Willa translated, "for protecting us. Tell her she's welcome, and I'm sorry she got hurt." Willa made more sounds. Ash's tail wagged once. She moved to Boone, pressed her massive head against his chest. He wrapped his arms around her, felt her warmth, her strength, her acceptance. "She says you're one of us now," Willa said softly. "Not just pack. Family." Boone's eyes burned. He buried his face in Ash's fur and let the tears come. 3 years of holding it in. 3 years of pretending he was fine. 3 years of carrying weight that should have broken him. And here in a box canyon surrounded by wolves with a wild girl who barely knew how to be human, he finally let it go. When the tears stopped, Willa handed him a canteen of water. "Drink. We have a long walk back." "Back where?" "Your ranch. It's safe now. They won't come back, not for a while. And when they do—" She smiled. "We'll be ready." They walked out of the canyon together. Wolves ranging ahead and behind. Scouts, protectors, family. The sun was high now, hot. The desert stretched endlessly in all directions. Beautiful and brutal. Perfect. "What happens now?" Boone asked. "Now we rebuild. We prepare. We live." Willa looked at him. "And you teach me." "Teach you what?" "Everything. How to read better? How to cook? How to be human when I need to be? She paused. If you want to. If I want to, Boone laughed. Kid, I got nothing but time and a ranch that needs work. You want to learn, I'll teach you. But, he pointed at the wolves, they have to promise not to eat me in my sleep. They promise. Probably. Probably. They're wolves. They don't make promises, but they like you. That's better. They reached the ranch by mid-afternoon. The house looked different now. Not like a prison, not like a hiding place, like a home. Willa walked through it slowly, touched the walls, the furniture, the dishes. You live here alone. Not anymore. Good. Being alone is... She searched for words. Hard, even for wolves. Pack is better. Yeah, pack is better. That night they sat on the porch, Boone with his whiskey, Willa with water, Ash at their feet, other wolves scattered in the darkness, watching, protecting. Sterling will be back, Willa said quietly. I know. He'll bring more men, better guns, maybe even the real sheriff. Let him. You're not afraid? Terrified. But I'm done running. Boone took a drink. Besides, I got wolves now. That's got to count for something. Willa smiled. It counts for everything. They sat in comfortable silence. Above them, stars filled the sky. Millions of them. Out here, away from city lights, you could see the whole universe. Your daughter, Willa said. Sarah, tell me about her. Boone hadn't talked about Sarah in 3 years. Not really. But now, with the darkness and the stars, and Willa's patient silence, the words came. She was scared of everything when she was little. Storms. Dogs. The dark. Used to cry if I left the room. But as she got older, she got braver. Started standing up for herself. For other kids. She had this fierce sense of justice. Couldn't stand bullies. Couldn't stand seeing people hurt. His voice cracked. The night she died, she was driving to pick up a friend whose boyfriend had hit her. Going to bring her somewhere safe. That's who she was. Always helping. Always protecting. Like you, Willa said softly. Maybe. I don't know. Boone wiped his eyes. I couldn't protect her. Failed at the one thing that mattered most. You didn't fail. Bad things happen. That's not failure. That's life. Easy to say. No, it's hard to say. Because I lost everyone too. My parents. My human life. Everything I was supposed to be. But I survived. And so did you. That's not failure. That's strength. Boone looked at her. This wild girl who'd lived with wolves for 10 years. Who'd survived things that should have killed her. Who was teaching him about strength. You're wise for someone who's basically a kid, he said. I'm 18, not a kid. You're 18. How do you even know that? I count. Years, moons, seasons. I know how long it's been. She looked at him seriously. And I know that you helping me. That's the first time in 10 years another human chose kindness over fear. That matters, Boone. That matters more than you know. They talked until midnight. About Sarah. About Willa's parents. About the wolves and their hierarchy and their personalities. About what it meant to be human versus what it meant to be wild. About whether you could be both. Finally, Willa yawned. I should go. Back to the den. The pack will worry. Or you could stay here, in the house. There's a bedroom. A real bed. Running water. She hesitated. I don't know if I can sleep inside. Walls make me nervous. Then sleep on the porch. Or in the barn. Whatever feels right. Boone stood. But you're always welcome here. This is pack territory now. Yours and mine. Willa smiled, stepped forward, hugged him quickly. Thank you. For everything. Before he could respond, she was gone. Running into the darkness with Ash beside her. Within seconds, they'd disappeared. Boone stood alone on the porch, but he didn't feel alone. He could sense the wolves out there, watching, protecting. And somewhere beyond the trees, Willa was safe with her family. His family now, too. He went inside, lay down on the bed without undressing. Sleep took him fast and deep. No nightmares, no ghosts, just darkness and rest. He woke once in the night to the sound of howling. The whole pack singing together, beautiful and wild and free. Boone smiled and went back to sleep. In the morning, everything would change again. Sterling would heal and plan his revenge. The real sheriff might come asking questions. The ranchers would hear about the man protecting the wolf girl and they'd have opinions. But that was tomorrow's problem. Tonight, Boone had wolves singing outside his window and a wild girl who'd decided he was worth trusting. And that was more than enough. Morning came with Willa sitting on Boone's porch steps, watching the sunrise like she'd never seen one before. Boone pushed open the screen door, coffee in hand. "You sleep out here?" Couldn't sleep in the den, too many wolves asking questions. She glanced back at him. "They don't understand why I keep coming here, to you." "What did you tell them?" "That you're teaching me things, that I need to learn." She stood, brushed dust off her hide clothing. "Is that true? Will you really teach me? What do you want to learn?" "Everything." The word came out hungry, desperate. "I want to remember what it's like to be human. I want to read more than just the words I carved into trees from memory. I want to understand why people build houses and wear clothes and use forks." She paused. "I want to know who I was supposed to be, before the fire." Boone sat down on the steps, patted the space beside him. "That's a tall order." Willa sat, kept a careful distance, not quite touching. "You don't have to. I know I'm asking a lot." "No, I'll do it. Just—" Boone sipped his coffee. "Just understand, it's going to be hard. You've lived wild for 10 years. That's not going to change overnight." "I know, but I want to try." She looked at her hands, scarred, rough, nails broken and dirty. "The wolves saved me, but maybe they also trapped me. I don't know how to be anything except what I am. And sometimes—" Her voice dropped. "Sometimes I wonder what my mother would think, if she saw me now, living like an animal, eating raw meat, sleeping in caves. She'd think you survived. That's what matters." "Is it—" Willa's eyes glistened. "Or did I just trade one death for another? Maybe I should have died in that fire. Maybe I was supposed to." "Don't say that." Boone's voice came out sharper than he intended. "You survived for a reason. You're here for a reason. And if you want to learn how to be human again, then damn it, we'll figure it out together." Willa wiped her eyes quickly. "Okay, where do we start?" "First, you need real clothes. Those hides aren't going to work if you ever want to go into town." "I don't want to go into town." "Maybe not now, but someday you might need to. And when that happens, you can't look like you just walked out of the Stone Age." Boone stood. "Wait here." He went inside, came back with a cardboard box. Inside were clothes, a woman's jeans, a few shirts, a jacket, all neatly folded, preserved. "These were my wife's," Boone said quietly. "She left them when she moved out. Couldn't take everything. You're about her size. They should fit." Willa touched the fabric carefully, like it might bite. "This is soft. It's cotton. Better than animal hide. I don't know how to put them on. I'll show you. But first—" Boone gestured to the house. "You need a bath, real soap, hot water. When's the last time you washed—" "I wash in the creek." "That's not the same thing." He led her inside, to the bathroom, turned on the shower. Water hissed from the faucet. Steam rose. "Get in. Use the soap, the shampoo, everything. Take your time. I'll leave the clothes outside the door." Willa stared at the running water. "This is inside the house. Yeah. Indoor plumbing. It's a thing. The wolves would think this is strange. The wolves don't pay the water bill. Boone started to leave, then stopped. You know how to use soap, right? I remember, I think. She touched the water, jerked her hand back. It's hot. That's the point. Adjust it if it's too hot. The left handle makes it cooler. He left before she could ask more questions. 20 minutes later, Willa emerged. She wore the jeans too loose, cinched with a belt, and a blue flannel shirt. Her hair was wet, combed straight, hanging past her waist. Without the dirt and tangles Boone could see, she was actually pretty. Young. Vulnerable. I feel strange, she said. You look human. Is that good? It's a start. Boone handed her a pair of socks and old sneakers. Try these. She put on the socks awkwardly, struggled with the shoes. Finally got them on and stood. Took a few steps. Almost fell. These are hard to walk in. You'll get used to it. I don't like them. They make my feet feel trapped. Welcome to civilization. Everything feels like a trap at first. Willa sat at the kitchen table. Looked around at the appliances, the sink, the refrigerator humming in the corner. How does all this work? Electricity, plumbing, modern convenience. Boone started making breakfast. Eggs, bacon, toast. You remember eating cooked food? A little. My mother made pancakes sometimes, with syrup. Her face softened. I loved them, but I don't remember the taste anymore. Just that I loved them. We'll make pancakes tomorrow. Today you're getting the basics. He cracked eggs into a pan. The sizzle made Willa jump. Relax. It's just cooking. The wolves would hate this. All these sounds, these smells. Good thing you're human then. Am I? She looked at her hands again. Even clean, they looked wrong. Too rough. Too scarred. I don't feel human. I feel like I'm pretending, like I'm wearing a costume. That's because you are. For now. Boone flipped the eggs. But the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Trust me. They ate in silence. Willa struggled with the fork, kept wanting to use her hands, finally gave up and picked up the bacon with her fingers. Boone didn't comment. Small steps. This tastes different, Willa said. Than raw meat. Better, but different. Cooking changes things, makes them safer to eat, easier to digest. The wolves eat everything raw. The wolves have different stomachs. You don't. Not anymore. Boone pushed the plate of toast toward her. Try this. With butter. She bit into the toast. Her eyes widened. Oh, this is good. Told you. After breakfast, Boone pulled out a box of books. Old paperbacks. Some children's books that had belonged to Sarah. You said you wanted to read better. Let's see where you're at. He opened a simple reader. Basic words. Cat, dog, house. Willa read them easily. I know these. I practiced with what I remembered. She pointed to a longer book. But that one I can't read most of it. The words are too big, too complicated. Then we start there. Boone spent the next hour teaching her, sounding out words, explaining meanings. Willa absorbed everything like a sponge. Fast, hungry for knowledge. You're smart, Boone said. Really smart. You just need practice. My father used to read to me, every night, books about animals and adventures and brave children. Her smile faded. After he died, I tried to remember the stories. But they got mixed up, changed. I don't know what's real anymore and what I invented. Doesn't matter. What matters is you're here now, learning, moving forward. They worked until noon. Then Willa stood abruptly. I need to go. Check on the pack. They'll worry if I'm gone too long. When will you be back? Tomorrow? Maybe. She looked uncertain. Is that okay? Can I keep coming here? Every day if you want. This is your home too now. She smiled, bright and real. Then she was gone, out the door, across the yard. By the time Boone reached the porch, she'd disappeared into the trees. The routine continued for 2 weeks. Willa would arrive at dawn. They'd work on reading, writing, basic math. Boone taught her how to cook simple meals, how to do laundry, how to use a phone, though they had to drive to town for that since his ranch line was dead. She was nervous in town, jumpy, kept looking for escape routes. But she managed. The wolves watched from a distance, never interfering. But Boone could feel them out there. Ash would sometimes appear at the tree line during Willa's lessons, just checking, making sure everything was okay. On the 15th day, everything changed. Boone and Willa were in the kitchen. She was practicing cutting vegetables, proper knife skills, not just tearing with teeth when they heard the truck. Willa's head snapped up. "Someone's coming." "Stay calm. Could be anyone." "No, it's him. Sterling." Her nostrils flared. "I can smell him. Gun oil, anger, hate." "How can you possibly—" Boone stopped, realized she actually could smell those things. "Get to the back room. Stay hidden." "No, I'm staying with you." "Willa, I'm staying." Her jaw set. Stubborn. "We're pack. Pack stays together." The truck pulled up. Sterling got out. His left arm was in a sling, the shoulder Boone had shot. Behind him, 2 other men emerged. Not Lenny or the others from before. These were different, harder, professional. Boone stepped onto the porch, Winchester in hand. "You're trespassing." "This is public land, Carter. I can go where I want." Sterling's voice was cold, controlled. "Besides, I'm not here for trouble. I'm here to talk." "You brought backup to talk." "Insurance, after what happened last time." Sterling gestured to his shoulder. "You shot me. That's assault. I could have you arrested." "You came onto my property with guns, hunting a kid. That's attempted murder, so let's call it even." "That girl isn't a kid. She's a menace. And I got proof now." Sterling pulled a folder from his truck, tossed it onto the porch steps. "Take a look." Boone picked it up. Inside were photos. Dead livestock, throats torn out, claw marks, blood everywhere. "That's from last week," Sterling said. "Jim Brenner's cattle, 5 of them, slaughtered in one night, and we got tracks, wolf tracks, leading straight back to your property. That doesn't prove anything. It proves she's dangerous. It proves she needs to be stopped." Sterling stepped closer. "Look, Carter, I get it. You feel bad for her. She's young. She's been through trauma. But she's not human anymore. She's a predator. And if we don't do something, more animals will die. Maybe even people." "She didn't do this." "How do you know?" "Because I know her. She's not violent. She's just trying to survive." Surviving by killing livestock. That's theft. That's destruction of property. That's wolves being wolves. Willa's voice cut through the air. She stepped onto the porch, still in her human clothes, still looking fragile and young. But her eyes blazed. "Wolves hunt. They eat. That's what they do. But they don't slaughter for fun. They kill what they need. Nothing more." Sterling smiled. Ugly. "So you admit it. Your pack did this." "I didn't say that. I said wolves hunt. But this," she pointed at the photos, "this isn't hunting. This is something else." "Like what?" "I don't know, but I'll find out." Willa descended the steps, moved toward Sterling. The 2 men behind him tensed, hands on their guns. "Give me 3 days. 3 days to track whatever did this. If it's my pack, I'll take responsibility. I'll leave. Go somewhere else. Take the wolves with me. And if you're lying, then you can hunt me, fair and square. No more ambushes, no more hiding, just you and me, one-on-one." Sterling studied her. "You're serious?" "Yes." "Why should I trust you?" "Because I'm giving you what you want. A chance to end this, peacefully or violently. Your choice." Willa's voice was steady. But if you choose violence before giving me those 3 days, the pack will know. And they won't show mercy next time." The threat hung in the air. Sterling looked at his men, at Boone, at the forest beyond where shadows moved between trees. Dozens of shadows. 3 days, Sterling finally said. "But I'm watching. Any more dead livestock, any more problems, and we're coming for you. Sheriff's Department, State Police, the whole damn army if we have to." "Understood." Sterling got back in his truck. The other men followed. They drove off. Dust rose behind them. Willa sagged against the porch railing. "That was stupid. Why did I do that?" "Because you're brave, and because you want to prove you're not a monster." Boone put a hand on her shoulder. "But can you actually find out what did this?" "I don't know, but I have to try." She looked at him, fear in her eyes for the first time. What if it was my pack? What if they did kill those cattle? "Then we deal with it. Together." "I'd have to leave. Take them somewhere else. Away from people." "Let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, we investigate. Find the truth. Then we make decisions." Willa nodded, took a shaky breath. "Okay, I need to go. Talk to Ash. Track the scent. Figure this out." "I'm coming with you." "Boone." "We're pack, remember, pack stays together." She smiled despite her fear. "Okay, but keep up. We're moving fast." They ran into the forest. Willa led the way, moving with that impossible grace. Boone struggled behind her. His lungs burned, his legs ached, but he kept going. They met the pack at the den. Ash emerged immediately, approached Willa. They touched foreheads, made soft sounds, communication beyond human understanding. After a moment, Willa turned to Boone. "She says the pack didn't do it. They've been hunting deer and rabbits east of here, nowhere near Brenner's ranch." "Do you believe her?" "Wolves don't lie. They can't. It's not in their nature." Willa looked troubled. "But something killed those cattle. Something with wolf tracks. Which means..." "What?" "Either there's another pack in the area, or..." She stopped. Her face went pale. "Or it's him." "Who?" "Shadow. A lone wolf. Kicked out of his birth pack 3 years ago for being too aggressive. Too violent. He tried to join our pack. Ash refused him. He's been alone ever since. Sometimes I see his tracks, smell his scent. But he stays away, afraid of the pack." "Could he do this, kill like that?" "Maybe, if he's desperate enough, hungry enough, crazy enough." Willa looked at Ash, made more sounds. The wolf responded with a long, low growl. "Ash says he's been seen near Brenner's land, moving at night, avoiding the pack. So we find him." "It's not that simple. Shadow is smart, dangerous. He won't let himself be cornered." "Then we don't corner him. We track him, follow him, see where he goes, what he does." Boone checked the Winchester. Still 2 bullets. Never did buy more. Stupid. "Can Ash help?" "She can lead us to where he was last seen. But after that..." Willa shook her head. "After that, it's just scent and luck." They tracked Shadow for 2 days, through canyons and across ridges, through places Boone had never seen and would never see again. The wolf was smart. He doubled back, walked in streams, covered his tracks. But Willa was smarter. She could read signs Boone couldn't see. A disturbed rock, a bent branch, a scent on the wind that meant wolf not pack. On the second night they found him. A cave hidden in a jumble of boulders. Inside the remains of a recent kill. Cattle. The smell was unmistakable. Flies buzzed around rotting meat. "This is him," Willa whispered. "This is Shadow's den." "Where is he now?" "Close. Watching us. He knows we're here." A growl rumbled from the darkness behind them. Deep. Menacing. Boone spun. Raised the rifle. The wolf that emerged was huge. Bigger than Ash. Black with gray streaks. Scars covered his muzzle and flanks. One ear was torn half off. His eyes were yellow. Wrong. Like something had broken inside him. "Shadow," Willa said. Not a greeting. A warning. "You did this. You killed the cattle." The wolf snarled. Didn't attack. Just stood there, blocking their exit. "Why?" Willa took a step forward. "You know this brings hunters. You know this endangers the pack." Shadow growled again. Then he did something that made Boon's blood run cold. He laughed. Not a human laugh, but something close. A sound that was mockery and madness mixed together. "He's gone feral," Willa said quietly. "Completely. There's no reasoning with him. Can we get past him?" "Not without fighting." "Then we fight." Shadow lunged, fast. Boon fired. The bullet went wide. The wolf was too quick. Shadow hit Willa, knocked her down. His jaws snapped inches from her throat. Boon swung the rifle like a club, connected with Shadow's ribs. The wolf yelped, released Willa, turned on Boon. Those yellow eyes locked onto him. Intelligent, calculating. This wasn't just an animal. This was something that had learned to hate. Shadow crouched, ready to spring. Then Ash was there. She came out of nowhere, hit Shadow from the side. They went down in a tangle of fur and teeth and snarling rage. The fight was brutal. Ash was smaller but faster. Shadow was stronger but wounded from Boon's hit. They rolled, snapped, drew blood. More wolves appeared. The pack. They surrounded Shadow, cut off escape. But they didn't attack. This was Ash's fight. Alpha against alpha. Old challenge. Old rules. It lasted maybe a minute. Felt like hours. Finally, Ash got Shadow's throat. Held him down. One bite and he'd be dead. But she didn't bite. Just held him. Waiting. "Let him go," Willa said softly. Ash released. Shadow scrambled back. Blood dripped from a dozen wounds. He was beaten, knew it. But his eyes still held that madness, that hate. "Leave," Willa told him. "Leave this territory. Go north. Into the mountains. Hunt deer and elk like you're supposed to. Stay away from cattle. Stay away from people. If you come back," she gestured to the pack, "they won't show mercy again." Shadow stared at her for a long moment. Then he turned and ran, limping, bleeding, but alive. The pack watched him go. No pursuit, just observation, making sure he left. Willa sagged against Boon. "It's done." "Will he come back?" "No. Shadow knows he's beaten. He'll find new territory, far from here." She looked at Ash. The alpha wolf had a gash on her shoulder, not deep, but painful. "Thank you. You saved us." Ash made a soft sound, licked Willa's hand. Then she turned and led the pack back into the darkness. Boon and Willa walked back to the ranch as dawn broke, exhausted, bloody, but alive. "We have to tell Sterling," Willa said. "Show him the den, the evidence, prove it wasn't my pack." "Will he believe us?" "He has to, because if he doesn't, this all starts again." They reached the ranch. Sterling was already there, sitting on the porch, waiting, his gun across his lap. "Time's up," he said. "Did you find anything?" "Yeah, we found everything." Willa's voice was steady despite her exhaustion. "It wasn't my pack. It was a lone wolf. Shadow, rogue. We tracked him, found his den. The cattle remains are there. He's been driven out, gone north. It's over." Sterling studied her. "You expect me to believe that?" "I'll take you to the den, show you, let you see for yourself." "Could be a trick." "Could be. But it's not." Willa stepped closer. Blood on her shirt, dirt on her face, but her eyes clear, honest. "I gave you my word. 3 days to find the truth. This is the truth." Shadow killed those cattle. Not my pack. If you don't believe me, test the blood in the den. Check the tracks. Do whatever you need to do. But stop hunting my family." Sterling was quiet for a long time. Finally he stood. "Show me the den." They did. Sterling examined everything, took photos, collected samples. His face remained unreadable the whole time. When they returned to the ranch, he looked at Willa. "Okay, I believe you, this time." This time it was Shadow. Next time, if there is a next time, I won't be so patient. He got in his truck. "Keep your wolves under control. Keep them away from livestock. And maybe, just maybe, we can coexist." He drove off. Willa stood in the dust, watching him go. Then she turned to Boon. "Do you think he means it? That he'll leave us alone?" "I think he'll try. For now." Boon put his arm around her shoulders. "You did good, kid. You proved yourself. Showed him you're not a monster." "I'm not a monster. But I'm not fully human either." She looked at her hands again. Even in human clothes, even after weeks of lessons, she still felt caught between worlds. "Sometimes I think I'll never fit anywhere. You fit here, with me, with the pack. That's enough." She leaned against him, just for a moment. Let herself be young and scared and tired. "Thank you. For helping me. For believing in me. That's what family does." They walked back to the house together. The sun rose higher. The desert bloomed with morning light. And somewhere in the trees, wolves sang to celebrate the end of danger and the beginning of peace. At least for now. The peace lasted exactly 3 weeks before Willa stopped coming to the ranch. Boon didn't notice the first day. She'd missed lessons before when the pack needed her. But by day 3, he started to worry. Day 5, he walked into the forest calling her name. No answer. Just wind and birds and the usual desert sounds. On day 7, Ash appeared at the tree line. Alone. The wolf sat and stared at the house. Waiting. Boon grabbed his coat. "What's wrong? Where is she?" Ash turned and walked into the forest. Boon followed. They walked for an hour. Deep into territory Boon barely recognized. Finally they reached the den. Wolves surrounded it. More than usual. They parted as Boon approached. Inside, Willa sat against the cave wall. Her human clothes were gone. She wore the animal hides again. Her hair was tangled, dirty. She looked thinner, hollowed out. "Willa," Boon crouched beside her. "What happened? Why didn't you come back?" She didn't look at him. "I can't do it anymore." "Can't do what?" "Be human. Pretend I'm something I'm not." Her voice was flat, empty. "I tried. For weeks I tried. But every time I put on those clothes, every time I sat in that house, every time I used a fork or read a book or spoke in complete sentences, I felt like I was betraying them." She gestured to the wolves. "They saved me, raised me, loved me, and I was leaving them, becoming something else, something they couldn't understand." "You weren't leaving them. You were just learning. Learning to be what human. I'm not human, Boon. Not really. I haven't been human in 10 years. That girl who had parents and lived in a cabin and ate pancakes, she died in the fire. I'm what came after. I'm something in between. And being in between means I don't belong anywhere." Boon sat beside her. His heart ached. He'd seen this look before. On his wife's face the day she left. On his own face in the mirror those first months after Sarah died. The look of someone who'd given up. "You belong here," he said quietly. "With the pack. With me. You belong with the people who care about you. But I'm hurting them by trying to be something else. The pack is confused. They don't understand why I smell like soap and fabric. Why I spend days away. Why I'm changing." A tear ran down her cheek. "Last night one of the yearlings wouldn't come near me. He was scared. Of me. Because I don't smell right anymore. Because I'm not one of them anymore." "You're still one of them," You're just also learning to be more. I don't want to be more, I want to be what I am. What I've always been. A wolf who looks human. Not a human who pretends to be a wolf. Is that really what you want? Or are you just scared? Willa finally looked at him. Her amber eyes blazed with anger and pain. Of course I'm scared. I'm terrified. Because every time I learn something new, every time I remember how to be human, I lose a piece of what kept me alive. The wolves gave me everything. Language, their language. Family, purpose, identity. And now I'm supposed to just throw that away to wear jeans and read books. Nobody's asking you to throw anything away. You can be both. No, I can't. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I can't be both. Being human means thinking differently, feeling differently, wanting different things. And if I keep going down that path eventually, I won't be able to hear the pack anymore. I won't be able to understand them. I'll lose them. And I can't. Her voice broke. I can't lose them. They're all I have. You have me. For how long you're human, Boon? Eventually you'll want to go back to civilization, get a real job, find a new wife, have a new family. And where does that leave me? A wild girl who can almost pass for normal, but not quite. Someone you feel sorry for, someone you're trying to fix because it makes you feel better about the daughter you couldn't save. The words hit like a punch. Boon flinched. That's not fair, isn't it? You said it yourself. You're trying to save me because you couldn't save Sarah, but I don't need saving. I needed saving 10 years ago and the wolves did it. Now I just need to be left alone to be what I am. And what are you exactly? Because from where I'm sitting, you're a scared kid who's too afraid to admit she wants more than just survival. Willa stood abruptly. Get out. Willa, I said get out. Go back to your ranch. Go back to your human life. Leave me alone. I'm not leaving you like this. You don't have a choice. This is my home, my family. You're a guest here, and I'm asking you to leave. Ash growled softly, not threatening, just supporting Willa's request. Boon stood slowly, his chest tight. Okay, I'll go. But when you're ready to talk, when you're ready to admit you're running from something instead of towards something, you know where to find me. He walked out of the den, through the circle of wolves, back through the forest. His eyes burned, but he didn't cry. Not yet. Not where she could see. When he reached the ranch, he sat on the porch and let it out. All the frustration. All the hurt. All the fear that he'd pushed too hard, asked too much, broken the one good thing that had happened to him in 3 years. Night fell. The wolves didn't howl. The forest was silent. Boon went inside, lay on his bed, stared at the ceiling, thought about Willa's words, about Sarah, about whether he really was trying to fix one by saving the other. Maybe she was right. Maybe he was being selfish, trying to turn her into something she didn't want to be just so he could feel useful again, feel needed. But damn it, he'd seen the way her eyes lit up when she read a whole paragraph without help. The way she smiled when she tasted chocolate for the first time. The joy on her face when she figured out how to make toast without burning it. That wasn't him forcing her to be human. That was her remembering what she'd lost. Or was it Boon fell asleep with no answers? Just questions and guilt and the weight of trying to help someone who didn't want to be helped. He woke to someone shaking his shoulder, hard. Boon, wake up. He jolted upright. Willa stood beside his bed, still in her animal hides. But her face was different, scared, urgent. What's wrong? The pack. They're sick, some of them. Started yesterday. Now it's spreading. Ash. Her voice broke. Ash is the worst. She can barely stand. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help them. Boon was up and moving before she finished talking. Grabbed his boots, his jacket. Show me. They ran to the den. Dawn was breaking. Gray light filtered through the trees. When they arrived, Boone understood immediately why Willa was terrified. 6 wolves lay scattered around the den entrance, panting, drooling, their eyes unfocused. Ash was among them, the proud alpha reduced to a shaking, whimpering mess. Jesus Christ. Boone knelt beside Ash, checked her gums, pale, checked her breathing, rapid and shallow. This is poison. They've been poisoned. What? How? I don't know. But these symptoms, excessive drooling, weakness, tremors, this is toxin exposure. He looked at Willa. What did they eat? In the last 24 hours? Deer, a buck. We brought it down 2 days ago near the southern ridge. Show me, now. Willa led him to the kill site. What was left of the deer lay in a clearing, mostly bones. But Boone could see something else. A faint purple residue around the carcass. He touched it, sniffed, recoiled. Strychnine. Someone poisoned this deer, left it out knowing the wolves would find it. Willa's face went white. Sterling. Maybe. Or someone else who wants the pack gone. Boone stood. Doesn't matter right now. What matters is saving them. How many wolves ate from this kill? 8, maybe 9. Everyone who was hungry. And how many are showing symptoms? 6 so far. The others will start soon. Strychnine takes time to work through the system. Boone grabbed Willa's shoulders. Listen to me. We need activated charcoal, lots of it. And we need to induce vomiting. Get the poison out before it kills them. I don't know what that means. I don't know how to do that. I do. But I need your help. Can you get the pack to follow us back to the ranch, the ones who can still walk? They won't go. They're scared. They don't trust buildings. Then we treat them here. But I need supplies from town. Activated charcoal, hydrogen peroxide, syringes. He pulled out his wallet, handed her cash. There's a veterinary clinic in town. Dr. Sarah Martinez. Tell her what happened. Tell her Boon Carter sent you. She'll help. I can't go to town. I don't know how to drive. I don't know how to talk to people. I'll mess it up. You won't. You're smart. You're brave. You can do this. Boone looked her in the eyes. Those wolves are dying, Willa. Ash is dying. If we don't act fast, you're going to lose them. All of them. So you need to decide right now. Are you a wolf who gives up, or are you someone who fights for her family no matter what? Willa's jaw set. I fight. Then go. Take my truck. Keys are in it. Drive straight to town. Find Dr. Martinez. Get what we need. I'll stay here and do what I can. She ran. Boone watched her go, praying she'd make it. Praying the town wouldn't eat her alive. Praying Sterling, or whoever poisoned that deer, wouldn't be waiting. Then he turned to the sick wolves. Started with Ash. The alpha was barely conscious. Her breathing labored. Time was running out. Okay, girl, Boone whispered. Stay with me. Willa's getting help. Just hold on. He used what he had. Made the wolves drink water to dilute the poison. Kept them moving when they wanted to collapse. Talked to them constantly, like they could understand, like his voice alone could keep them tethered to life. 2 hours later, a wolf died. Young male, barely 2 years old. He convulsed once, went still. The pack howled, long and mournful, a sound that broke Boone's heart. 30 minutes after that, another wolf started seizing. Boone held her down, kept her from hurting herself, but there was nothing else he could do. No medicine, no treatment, just watching her suffer. Come on, Willa, where are you? 3 hours after she left, Boone heard the truck. Relief flooded through him. Willa burst into the clearing carrying 2 bags. Behind her, someone else emerged. A woman, 50s, brown skin, kind eyes. She carried a veterinary kit. Dr. Martinez, Boone breathed. Sarah's fine. The vet was already moving, assessing the wolves. Your girl filled me in. Strychnine poisoning. We don't have much time. How many affected? 9 total. 2 dead, 7 hanging on. Then let's save the 7. She opened her kit, started preparing syringes. Willa, I need you to hold this one down. Boon, grab that wolf. We're inducing vomiting first. Then activated charcoal. Then we pray. They worked for 4 hours. It was brutal, messy. The wolves fought them, bit, scratched. But Willa kept them calm. Spoke in that strange wolf language, made sounds that soothed even in their agony. Slowly the poison worked its way out. The wolves stopped seizing. Their breathing stabilized. Color returned to their gums. Ash was last. The alpha had ingested the most poison, taken the biggest pieces of meat, eaten first because that was her right. Now she paid the price. Dr. Martinez worked on her for an hour. Finally, she sat back. She's stable, barely, but stable. Next 24 hours are critical. Willa collapsed beside Ash, wrapped her arms around the wolf's neck. Thank you. Thank you so much. Don't thank me yet. We're not out of the woods. Dr. Martinez looked at Boon. Someone did this deliberately, poisoned that deer and left it where they knew the pack would find it. That's not just illegal. That's evil. I know who did it, Willa said quietly. Sterling, or someone he hired. This is revenge for making him back down. Can you prove it? No, but I know. Dr. Martinez packed up her kit. I'll report this to the sheriff. Real sheriff, not Sterling's pretend badge. But without proof, there's not much they can do. Best I can offer is to put you in touch with wildlife authorities. Get this pack protected status. Make it illegal to hunt them or poison them. Will that work? Boon asked. Maybe, if we can prove they're not a threat to livestock. If we can show they're being targeted unfairly. She looked at Willa. Your girl told me what happened with Shadow, how she tracked him. Proved it wasn't her pack killing cattle. That helps, but it's not enough. We need documentation, evidence, a pattern of behavior showing these wolves are harmless. They're not harmless, Willa said. They're wolves. They hunt. They kill. That's what they do. They hunt deer and rabbits, not cattle. That's the difference. That's what we need to prove. Dr. Martinez stood. I'll start the paperwork. Meanwhile, you watch these wolves. Keep them away from poisoned meat. Keep them safe. And Willa. Yes. You did good today. Coming to town, asking for help. That took courage. Real courage. Your pack is lucky to have you. Willa's eyes filled with tears. I'm lucky to have them. Dr. Martinez left. Boon and Willa stayed with the pack through the night, monitoring the sick wolves, making sure they drank water, stayed warm, survived. By dawn, all 7 were showing improvement. Weak but alive. Ash even lifted her head when Willa approached, licked her hand weakly. She's going to make it, Willa whispered. They're all going to make it. Because of you. You saved them. No, you saved them. And Dr. Martinez, I just drove to town. You did more than that. You admitted you needed help. You went into a place that terrified you. You talked to strangers. You acted human when it mattered most. Boon sat beside her. That's what I was trying to teach you. Not to stop being a wolf, but to know when being human is the right choice. Willa was quiet for a long time. Finally, I'm sorry for what I said about Sarah, about you trying to fix things. That was cruel. It was also partly true. I am trying to fix things. Fix myself by helping you. But maybe that's okay. Maybe we're both broken in ways that fit together. Maybe we fix each other. I don't know if I can be both Boon, human and wolf. It feels impossible. Most good things are impossible until you do them. He stood, offered his hand. Come back to the ranch, not forever. Just for now. Let the pack rest. Let yourself rest. And then we'll figure out what comes next. Together. Willa looked at his hand, at the wolves sleeping peacefully, at Ash breathing steady and strong. Then she took his hand and stood. Okay, together. They walked back to the ranch as the sun rose. The world was different now, harder, more dangerous. Sterling had declared war by poison. Others would follow his lead. The pack was safe for today, but tomorrow was a question mark. But Willa had learned something important. Being strong didn't mean refusing help. Being a wolf didn't mean rejecting humanity. And being part of a pack meant accepting all kinds of family, even the ones that walked on two legs and couldn't howl to save their life. At the ranch, Boon made coffee. Willa sat on the porch steps, still in her hides, still wild. But something had shifted. She picked up one of the books Boon had left out, ran her fingers over the cover. "Will you keep teaching me?" she asked. "Even after what I said? Every day, if you want. I want to learn everything, reading, writing, how the world works, how people think, not because I want to stop being a wolf, but because—" She paused, searched for words. "Because knowing both sides makes me stronger, makes me better at protecting the pack, better at surviving, better at being who I really am." "And who's that?" She smiled. "I don't know yet, but I'm going to find out." Over the next week, Willa split her time between the ranch and the den. The pack recovered slowly. Ash regained her strength. The memory of poison faded, but didn't disappear. Dr. Martinez came by twice, checked on the wolves, started the paperwork for protected status, brought news that the real sheriff was investigating the poisoning. No suspects yet, but they were looking. Sterling stayed away, but his truck was seen near the property line, watching, waiting. "He's planning something," Willa said one evening. She and Boon sat on the porch watching sunset paint the desert red and gold. "I can feel it. He's not done with us." "I know, but we'll be ready." "How?" "He has guns. He has men. He has the law on his side, or at least he thinks he does. What do we have?" "We have each other. We have the pack. We have people like Dr. Martinez who believe in doing the right thing." Boon looked at her. "And we have you. A girl who can walk in both worlds, who understands both languages. That's more powerful than any gun." "You really believe that?" "I have to, because the alternative is giving up. And I'm done giving up." Willa leaned against his shoulder, a gesture that would have been impossible a month ago. Too human, too trusting. But now it felt natural. "Thank you," she said quietly, "for not giving up on me, even when I gave up on myself. That's what family does. We don't give up. Ever." They sat in comfortable silence until the stars came out. In the distance, wolves began their evening song. Willa joined in, her howl perfect and wild and beautiful. Boon just listened, grateful for this impossible life, this impossible girl, this impossible second chance. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. Sterling's revenge, the sheriff's questions, the constant struggle of existing between two worlds. But tonight, they had peace. And sometimes, peace was enough. The peace lasted 2 more weeks before Sterling made his final move. Boon was fixing the fence when he heard the vehicles. Not one truck this time. 5. Maybe 6. Engines rumbling. Dust rising in thick clouds. He dropped his tools and ran for the house. "Willa!" he shouted. "Get inside!" She emerged from the barn where she'd been reading. Still preferred the barn to the house. Said it felt less trapped. She saw the approaching vehicles, and her whole body tensed. How many? Too many. Boon grabbed the Winchester, checked the chamber. 2 bullets. Still, he really needed to stop procrastinating on ammunition. "Get to the den. Warn the pack. Tell them to scatter. Hide. Whatever it takes." "I'm not leaving you." "Yes, you are. This is about me now. I'm the one who shot him. I'm the one they can actually arrest. You go into those trees and they'll never find you. You stay here and what? They'll shoot me. They'll arrest me, Boon. I've been running my whole life. From fire, from people, from being human. I'm done running. She moved to stand beside him. "We're pack. Pack doesn't abandon each other." The vehicles stopped at the property line. Men poured out. Boon counted 12, all armed. Sterling climbed out of the lead truck. His arm was out of the sling now. His face was hard, determined. Behind him, a man in a proper uniform emerged. Real sheriff's badge, late 40s, gray hair, weathered face that had seen too much and believed too little. "That's Sheriff Daniels," Willa whispered. "Dr. Martinez mentioned him. Said he was investigating the poisoning. Doesn't look like he's here to help." Sterling walked forward, stopped at the fence line. "Boon Carter, you're under arrest for assault with a deadly weapon. You have the right to remain—" "He's not a real cop," Boon called back. "He can't arrest anyone." Sheriff Daniels stepped forward. "But I can. Sterling Maddox has filed formal charges. Says you shot him without provocation." "That true?" "He was hunting a kid with a rifle. I defended her." "The girl!" Daniels looked at Willa. "The wolf girl. She really exists." "I'm right here," Willa said. Her voice carried across the yard, clear, strong. "And he was hunting me. With guns. With dogs. With intent to kill." Boon stopped him. "That's not assault. That's protection." "Protection of what?" "You're not his daughter. Not his responsibility. Far as the law's concerned, he had no right to interfere. The law says you can't murder kids just because they're different. The law also says you can't live like an animal on public land. Can't form packs of dangerous predators. Can't threaten livestock and property." Daniels moved closer. His hand rested on his gun. Not threatening yet, but ready. "Girl, I don't want trouble. But you're causing problems. People are scared. Animals are dying. Something's got to give. Those animals died because someone poisoned them." Willa's voice rose. "Sterling poisoned a deer. Left it where he knew my pack would find it. 7 wolves almost died. 2 did die. And you're arresting Boon. You should be arresting him. That's a serious accusation. You got proof. Dr. Martinez documented everything. Strychnine poisoning. Deliberate. Malicious. Dr. Martinez also told me those wolves have been seen near cattle ranches, near homes, that people feel unsafe." Daniel sighed. "Look, I get it. You had a hard life. Wolves raised you. That's tragic. But you can't live like this forever. Sooner or later, someone's going to get hurt. And when that happens, the state will step in. Put those wolves down. Put you in a facility. Is that what you want?" "I want to be left alone." "That's not an option anymore. Too many people know about you now. Too many people scared. Too many questions." He gestured to the men behind him. "Sterling's got half the county convinced you're dangerous. They want you gone. And if I don't do something official, they're going to do something unofficial. Something that ends with you dead and the wolves exterminated." Willa's face went pale. "You're threatening me." "I'm being realistic. You think Sterling's the only one who wants you gone? There are ranchers who've lost livestock, families who've heard wolves at night, people who think you're cursed or evil or just plain wrong." Daniels moved closer to the fence. "I'm trying to help you. If you come with me voluntarily, get evaluated. Maybe go to a facility that can help you reintegrate into what? A world that wants me dead. A world that wants you safe. There's a difference." "No, there's not. Safe for you means locked up for me. Means taking me away from my family. Means destroying everything I am." Willa's hands clenched into fists. "I won't do it. I won't go with you." "Then I'll have to make you." Boon stepped forward, rifle raised. "You're not taking her anywhere." "Boon, don't." Willa grabbed his arm. "He's right," Sterling called out. His voice carried that ugly satisfaction. "Point that gun at a sheriff. See what happens. Give us a reason." "You want a reason." Boone's finger tightened on the trigger. "You poisoned innocent animals. You hunted a kid. You—" A howl split the air. Long, piercing, a warning. Then another, and another. Within seconds, the forest erupted with sound. Dozens of voices, maybe more. The men behind Sterling shifted nervously, hands on weapons. "Call them off," Daniels ordered. "Right now." "I can't call them off. They're protecting their territory, their family." Willa's voice was steady despite her fear. "You brought weapons. You brought threats. They're responding the only way they know how." Wolves began emerging from the trees, silent, purposeful, surrounding the property. 20, 30, 40. They didn't attack, just positioned themselves, a living wall between Willa and the armed men. Ash led them, the alpha, her silver coat gleaming in afternoon light. She moved to stand directly in front of Willa, between her and the sheriff. "Jesus Christ," one of the men muttered. "There's too many. We can't—" "Stand your ground," Sterling barked. "They're just animals. Just animals that outnumber us 3-1, another man said. His voice shook. "This is crazy. I didn't sign up to fight a wolf army." "Nobody's fighting anyone." Daniels kept his voice calm, but his hand never left his gun. "Willa, call them back. Please, before someone does something stupid. I told you, I can't control them. I'm not their master. I'm their family, and family protects family." "Then tell them we're not a threat." "But you are a threat. You came here to take me away, to destroy my life. That's as threatening as it gets." Daniels looked at Boone. "This is your land, your property. Tell me straight, is this girl dangerous?" "No, she's the least dangerous person I've ever met." "She commands wolves." "She doesn't command them. She talks to them. There's a difference." "Doesn't look like a difference from where I'm standing." Daniels gestured to the wolves. "Those animals are one order away from tearing us apart. They won't attack unless you give them a reason. So don't give them a reason. Just leave. Go back to town. Tell Sterling and his mob that Willa's not a threat. Tell them to leave us alone." "I can't do that." "Why not?" "Because the law doesn't work that way. Because I have a job to do. Because—" Daniel stopped. His face softened slightly. "Because if I don't handle this officially, Sterling will handle it his way, and his way ends with everyone dead. Is that what you want?" Boone lowered the rifle slightly. The sheriff had a point. Sterling wasn't going to give up, and if the law didn't intervene, vigilante justice would. "What are you proposing?" Boone asked carefully. "Willa comes with me, voluntarily, gets evaluated by a psychologist, someone who specializes in trauma. We document her story, her capability, prove she's not a danger. Then, if everything checks out, she comes back. With legal protection, official status, something that makes it illegal for people like Sterling to hunt her." "And if I refuse?" Willa asked. "Then I arrest Boone for assault. I call animal control for the wolves. And I let Sterling file complaints until the state has no choice but to act. Could take weeks, could take months. But eventually they'll come. With more men, more guns, and it won't end well." Willa looked at Boone. Her eyes filled with tears. "He's right. If I don't go now, this never ends. They'll keep coming, keep threatening. Eventually someone will die. Maybe you, maybe Ash, maybe all of us. You don't have to do this. We can fight. We can't fight the whole world, Boone. You taught me that. You taught me that sometimes being human means making hard choices, doing things that scare you because they're right." She turned back to Daniels. "How long?" "Evaluation. Maybe a week, 2 at most, depends on what the doctors find." "And the wolves? What happens to them while I'm gone?" "They stay here, on your property, Mr. Carter's property. We'll post signs, make it official. Anyone who messes with them answers to me." "Can you guarantee that—" I can try. Willa closed her eyes, took a deep breath. When she opened them again, something had changed. She looked older, harder, like she'd aged years in seconds. Okay, I'll go, but I have conditions. You're not exactly in a position to negotiate. I am if you want this to end peacefully. She pointed to the wolves. I go with you. But Boone doesn't get arrested. All charges dropped. And you personally guarantee the wolves' safety. Any hunter, any rancher, anyone who comes near them with a weapon, you stop them. You arrest them. You protect my family the same way you're claiming to protect me. Daniels considered. Agreed. But you cooperate fully. Answer all questions. Submit to evaluation. No running. No tricks. No tricks. Sterling. Daniels looked back at the angry rancher. You good with this? Sterling's face was red with rage. No. I want him arrested. I want those animals destroyed. You want to keep breathing. Daniels cut him off. Because if those wolves decide we're a threat, they'll tear through us in seconds. Girls offering us an out. A peaceful solution. We'd be idiots not to take it. This is bullshit. That man shot me. In defense of a minor, I can probably make that stick legally. But assault charges against you for hunting her, those I can definitely make stick. Attempted murder of a child, poisoning wildlife. Take your pick. Daniels stared Sterling down. So here's what's happening. We're dropping charges against Carter. We're taking the girl for evaluation, and you're going to go home and stay there. You come near these wolves, you come near this property, I'll arrest you myself. We clear? Sterling looked like he wanted to argue, but the wolves were still there, still watching, still ready. He swallowed his rage and nodded. Good. Daniels turned back to Willa. Let's go, before someone changes their mind. Willa moved toward Ash, knelt before the alpha. They touched foreheads. Willa made soft sounds. Wolf language. Ash responded with a low whine. Understanding. Sadness. Then Willa stood, walked to the other wolves, touched each one, said goodbye in ways Boone couldn't understand but felt in his chest. Finally, she came to Boone. Take care of them, please. They don't understand what's happening. They'll be scared. I'll take care of them, I promise. And Boone? Tears ran down her face now. Don't give up on me. Don't let them convince you I'm crazy or broken or need to be fixed. I'm just different. That's all. Just different. I know. And different is perfect. You're perfect exactly as you are. She hugged him. Hard. Desperate. I'll come back. No matter what they say. No matter what they do. I'll come back to you. To them. To home. I know you will. She pulled away. Walked to Daniel's vehicle. Climbed in the back. Didn't look back. The sheriff got in, started the engine. The other vehicles followed. Within minutes they were gone. Just dust and silence. The wolves didn't move, just stood there, staring at the empty road, waiting for Willa to come back. She's not coming back today, Boone told them quietly. But she will come back, I promise. Ash made a sound, part whine, part howl. Heartbroken. Lost. Boone understood completely. The next week was the longest of Boone's life. He stayed at the ranch, watched the wolves. They were restless, confused. Several times they tried to track Willa's scent, follow her to town. Boone had to stop them, explain in clumsy words and gestures that she was safe, that she'd return. He wasn't sure they believed him. Dr. Martinez came by on day 3, brought news. Willa was being evaluated at a facility 2 hours north. The doctors were confused, fascinated. She could speak perfectly when she chose to, but often she'd lapse into silence, or make wolf sounds, or refuse to sit in chairs because they felt wrong. Is she okay? Boone asked. Physically, she's fine. Mentally, they're not sure. She's not crazy, but she's not typical either. They're calling it atypical socialization. Basically, She was raised by wolves, so she thinks like wolves. But she's still human enough to remember what she lost. Dr. Martinez sighed. They want to keep her longer, run more tests, maybe transfer her to a facility that specializes in trauma. No, the deal was 2 weeks. She comes home after 2 weeks. Boon, she comes home or I'm going up there and bringing her home myself. You can't do that. She's in state custody now. Watch me. Dr. Martinez held up her hands. Let me talk to them. See what I can do. But Boon, you need to prepare yourself for the possibility that they might not let her come back. If they decide she's a danger to herself or others, she's not a danger. She's just different. I know, but different scares people, especially people with power. She left. Boon sat on the porch and waited. The wolves gathered in the yard, silent, watching, also waiting. On day 9, Sheriff Daniels returned. Alone this time. His face was serious. She's asking for you, he said. The doctors say she's not responding well to treatment. Won't eat, won't talk. Just sits and stares at the walls. They think she needs... He paused, looked uncomfortable. They think she needs her pack. You and the wolves. Without you, she's shutting down. Then let her come home. It's not that simple. There are procedures, protocols. The state has concerns about her living conditions, about supervision, about control. They want to control her, make her fit into a box. Boon stood. I'm going up there, right now. You going to stop me? No. Actually, I'm here to give you a ride. Doctors think seeing you might help. And if it doesn't... Daniels looked away. If it doesn't, they're talking about long-term institutionalization, saying she's incapable of caring for herself, that she needs constant supervision. That's bullshit. I know, but it's official bullshit, the kind that's hard to fight. He met Boon's eyes. You coming or not? They drove north, 2 hours through desert and mountains. The facility sat at the edge of a small town, modern, clean, sterile. Everything Willa would hate. A doctor met them at the entrance, young, professional, detached. Mr. Carter, I'm Dr. Ross. I've been overseeing Willa's evaluation. Where is she? In her room. But before you see her, I need to prepare you. She's not responding well. We've tried therapy. Medication. Social integration. Nothing's working. She just sits and makes these sounds. Animal sounds, like she's calling to something that's not there. She's calling to her family, the wolves. Yes, that's part of the problem. She's fixated on animals to the point of rejecting human contact. It's a form of disassociation, possibly trauma-induced. We need to keep her here until we can help her reintegrate into normal society. She doesn't want normal society. She wants her life, her family, her home. Mr. Carter, she's not capable of making those decisions. Legally, she's an adult, but functionally, she's been living in a primitive state for a decade. She needs help. She needs freedom. Freedom to do what? Live in a cave, eat raw meat, reject everything that makes us human. Freedom to be who she is, not who you think she should be. Boon pushed past the doctor. Where's her room? Dr. Ross hesitated, then pointed down a hallway. Room 7. But Mr. Carter. Boon didn't wait for the rest. He walked down the hall, found room 7, opened the door. Willa sat in the corner, still in human clothes, but they looked wrong on her now. Too clean. Too new. She'd lost weight. Her eyes were dull, lifeless. When she saw Boon, something flickered in them. Boon. Her voice was barely a whisper. Yeah, I'm here. He crossed the room, knelt beside her. You okay? No. They want to fix me. They say I'm broken, that I need help, that I can't go home until I'm better. Tears streamed down her face. But I'm not broken. I'm just different. Why can't they understand that? Because they're scared. Because different threatens their worldview. Because it's easier to call you broken than admit the world breaks people in ways they can't fix. I want to go home. I want to see Ash. I want... Her voice broke. I want to be free again. Then we'll get you free. How they have lawyers. They have power. We have truth, and truth is more powerful than all their lawyers combined. Boon took her hands. Listen to me. You're going to walk out of here. Today. Right now. And if they try to stop us, we'll fight. Legal, illegal, whatever it takes. Because you're right. You're not broken. And nobody gets to lock you up for being different. They'll arrest you. Let them. I've got nothing to lose and everything to fight for. Willa stared at him. Then she smiled. Real and bright and alive for the first time since she'd left the ranch. Okay, let's go home. They stood, walked to the door. Dr. Ross was waiting in the hallway with 2 security guards. Mr. Carter, you can't just take her. She's under state supervision. Watch me. I'll call the police. Call them. While you're at it, call the press. Call animal rights groups. Call anyone who will listen to the story of how the state kidnapped a girl for the crime of being different. Boon stepped closer. You want a fight? I'll give you one. I'll make this facility famous for all the wrong reasons. Or you can let her go. Her choice. Her life. Her freedom. Dr. Ross looked at Sheriff Daniels. Are you going to allow this? Technically, she's an adult. She can leave whenever she wants. Daniels shrugged. And honestly, keeping her here against her will seems more dangerous than letting her go home. At least there she's happy. She's living with wolves. So she's not hurting anyone. She's not committing crimes. She's just existing in a way you don't understand. Last I checked, that wasn't illegal. Dr. Ross looked like he wanted to argue. But Willa stepped forward. Thank you for trying to help me, she said quietly. But I don't need the help you're offering. I need to go home, to my family, to the life I chose. Maybe that makes me crazy by your standards. But I'd rather be crazy and free than sane and locked up. She walked past him, past the guards, out the door. Boon followed. So did Daniels. They drove back to the ranch in silence. When they arrived, the wolves were waiting. The moment Willa stepped out of the vehicle, they surged forward, surrounded her, touched her, welcomed her home in their wolf way. Ash pushed through the crowd. She and Willa touched foreheads. Both were crying. If wolves could cry, they could in all the ways that mattered. Thank you, Willa said to Daniels, for helping, for standing up when you didn't have to. Just doing my job, protecting people, all people, even ones who prefer wolves to humans. He looked at Boon. I can't stop the state from trying again, but I'll do what I can to slow them down. Buy you time. Time for what? For the world to catch up, to understand that different doesn't mean dangerous. He got back in his vehicle. Take care of her, Carter, and maybe teach her to visit town once in a while. Let people see she's not a monster. Might help with the fear. He drove off. Boon and Willa stood alone with the pack. The sun was setting, painting everything gold and red. Beautiful. Perfect. I missed this, Willa said quietly. Every second I was gone, I missed this. Then don't leave again. I won't. Not unless I choose to. Not unless it's my decision. She looked at him. Thank you. For coming to get me. For fighting for me. For never giving up. That's what family does. Am I your family now? Really not just the girl you're trying to save? You were always family. From the moment you showed up on my porch eating jerky like a starving animal. I just didn't know how to say it. Willa hugged him. The wolves pressed close, all of them together. Pack, family, home. Months passed. Willa split her time between the ranch and the den. She learned more, read more, practiced being human when it suited her, and being wolf when it felt right. She visited town occasionally with Boon. Let people see her. Let them realize she wasn't a threat, just a girl who'd survived impossible odds and refused to be anything other than exactly who she was. Sterling disappeared. Rumor said he moved away. Couldn't handle the shame of being wrong, of losing to a girl and her wolves. Dr. Martinez helped get the pack official protected status, made it illegal to hunt them or harm them, gave Willa legal standing as their guardian. The ranch thrived. Boon fixed it up, made it home. Sometimes at night he'd sit on the porch and think about Sarah, about how proud she'd be of him for choosing courage over fear, for choosing to help when helping was hard. Willa grew stronger, more confident, more herself. She never fully became human again, but she never fully stayed wolf either. She existed in that space between, that impossible middle ground where she could be both and neither and everything all at once. One evening, as they sat watching sunset, Willa said, "You taught me something important." "What's that?" "That kindness isn't weakness, that helping someone doesn't make you less, that family isn't about blood or species or how you were raised. It's about who stands beside you when the world wants to tear you apart." "You taught me something too." "What?" "That broken things can heal, that lost things can be found, that sometimes the best families are the ones you choose rather than the ones you're born into." Boon smiled. "You saved me as much as I saved you." "Then we're even." "Yeah, we're even." The wolves howled in the distance. Willa joined them. Her voice rose and fell in perfect harmony with her pack. And Boon just listened, grateful for second chances, grateful for wild girls who taught old men how to be brave, grateful for a life that refused to be anything except extraordinary. Because that's what happened when you chose love over fear, courage over comfort, and family over everything else. You found home in the most impossible places. You found hope in the darkest moments, and you discovered that being different wasn't a curse. It was the greatest gift of all.